Hey guys, hello, and welcome, I guess, to my Game of the Year video thing. It's not your average Game of the Year thing. I don't have a list of nominees. Basically, what I'm going to do, if you weren't with me last year, or well, they were on a different channel anyway. Anyway, what I plan to do is rate in order and list form every game that I've played this year in 2011, and from best to worst. No, from worst to best. Yes, from worst to best, starting with, actually, instead of my number 17, which is how many games I've completed over the year, I'd like to start with some shout-outs, some honorable mention type things. First to Portal 2 and Rayman Origins, both games that I haven't played, but in the case of Rayman Origins, I've heard it was a great platformer, like one of the best ever made, up there with Mario World and Sonic 3 and all that. And it's one I regret not playing this year. I mean, I'm sure I'll get to it, next year. I have a month off of school, so along with another game on this list, I hope to one day get to that and play through it. And Portal 2 because I've only seen playthroughs of it. I'm terrible with puzzles in games. I'm not that good, but I've seen playthroughs and let's plays of Portal 2, and I just love it from what I've seen. I love the story. I love the characters. If I did play Portal 2, Cave Johnson would be my character of the year type thing because I just love his lemon speech. It's amazing. Um, so those two. I'd also like to mention Minecraft and the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. With Minecraft, I played it, but I kind of got bored with it before its actual release. I played the betas and all that, and I liked it, but I mean, I guess it's just not my type of game. I I just didn't really follow through on that, so I guess I didn't complete it, and that's why it's not on here. And the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, I started. I got it the day of release, and on 11/11/11, and I have played it maybe 3 or 4 hours in total, just because I've been so busy with school, with other games getting in the way, and just so many other things. I'm gonna play it next month in the new year, definitely. Tomorrow, I'll start with it. Yeah, and just so many things. I wish I had played this year that I hadn't. Just wanted to mention those four because those seem to be really big, and those are ones I really regret not playing. So finally, starting this list off with number 17, a game I kind of forgot about until I went back and usually I can remember all the games I played, but this and a few others on this list, near the bottom, are games that I forgot I played this year just because I just forgot. So many other good things coming out. So I'd like to start this list with number 17, Conduit 2. Um, a shooter for the Wii. Just wasn't all that good. I mean, I forgot about it like right after I played it. Right after I played it, I moved on to other games, and it wasn't that good. It had no sticking power, no staying power. I wish I had some good things. I mean, the controls were good. I did like the controls. They took some getting used to in the beginning, but they worked. I could still only play that type of FPS on the Wii because of the controls. I can't do twin stick things with a 360 or PS3 controller. So I guess that's the good thing about it. If you're looking for a shooter on the Wii, it's there. Um, Moving on to number 16, Fancy Pants Adventures. And this was the game I played right after Conduit 2, and I remembered I played this one. Like, this one um, I guess from what I've played of it, or I mean, what I've seen of Rayman Origins, this is kind of close to that. Just the style. It's very momentum based. Um, Not completely unlike Sonic, but different because you can't. Well, you can like somersault and stuff, but I should have pre-scripted this, but I guess I'm not because I'm in a rush, and I kind of wanted this to be really real, you know. Um, but yeah, Fancy Pants Adventures. It it was a good platformer. I enjoyed playing it, but it was really really short. It felt like a flash game, which makes sense because that's where it comes from. It comes from games on Newgrounds and stuff like that. and I mean, it's still a really good game, but it wasn't worth the price. It was too short. I wish I could have rented it, but it was a download title, so there you go. Number 15, Rascals. And this was a game, I think it was the first game I played this year that came out in 2011. Um, and I remember getting it for free because of Destructoid, so I'd like to thank them again. And it's a game I enjoyed playing. It was it was a little humorous. I enjoyed playing through the story. It was a good combination of platforming and a kind of puzzle thing. You had to decide which blocks to get rid of to move on, and what would be the most efficient within a time limit. And it's another game that I guess I wouldn't have picked it up if I didn't get it for free. It might have been better if I played games online, like multiplayer online, but I don't. So as soon as I beat the campaign, it just didn't have much more to offer me. Though I wish it did. Because I did enjoy what I did play of it. Number 14 is Miss Splosion Man, which I still have trouble saying. Miss Splosion Man. I don't want to sound like Missplosion, but whatever. Mrs. Splosion Man. Which was the first game, I believe, that I played with a capture device when I did a Let's Play of it. So that's how I remember doing it. And it was, of all the games I've listed so far, it is the best, obviously, because I'm listing it right above all the others. And it was a damn good platformer. It really was. But I felt a lot, while playing the game, a lot more times. I really should have scripted this. I felt more frustrated by it than I got enjoyment out of it a lot. It was exceptionally well made. The levels were designed very well, but they were designed kind of, I don't want to say formulaic, because these were levels I've never like played before, and they were completely unique. But it was like they were designed for a robot to play. Like, I didn't feel like they were designed. They were really well designed, and but it didn't feel like they were meant to be played by a person. Just because of how frustrating they can get. It seems like something that would be a lot of fun to watch happen, because it was a very, very vivid game. Lots of bright colors and the explosions, of course. Like, it would be fun to watch happen, I think. But playing it did get frustrating. And so did the character of Miss Splosion Man. I found her incredibly annoying because she would never shut up. So number 13, moving on, is Samurai Warriors Chronicles, which is the first game I got for my Nintendo 3DS, and I'm very thankful I played it, because it was the first of the, I think it was, let me see, Koei? Namco? Whatever. It was the first of their samurai game, no, of their Warrior series games, Dynasty Warrior, Samurai Warrior, Warriors Orochi, other things that I played, and it's a series that I've been wanting to get into for a while, since hearing about it, because it just seemed like a type of game that would be really fun. Just 1 versus 100, killing them all really quickly, and just feeling like a real powerhouse, just mowing through legions of guys. And Samurai Warriors Chronicles did that. I felt like a complete badass, just killing, like, just there'd be 100 guys in front of you, and you could just charge right through them, and with a few swings of your sword, they'd all be, gone. And it's kind of therapeutic, because, I guess more so than, or about, like the game Prototype, which came out a few days ago. Oh my god, no, a few years ago. A game, one of my favorite games, Prototype. It's just fun to destroy so many people at once, to feel like you are this almighty, kind of untouchable powerhouse of a creature. And I'm glad that I was introduced to the series, because I liked what I got so far. And this was only a portable one, it was small, so Next chance I get to pick up one of the bigger Warriors games, I definitely will, because I had so much fun with Samurai Warriors Chronicles. Number 12 is another game on the Nintendo 3DS, and that is Sonic Generations. So I played the 3DS version after I played the console version, and honestly it was disappointing. But drawing that sort of comparison seems a bit unfair because you're looking at a 360 and then a 3DS, and they're two completely different things with different capabilities. But what Sonic Generations was, I mean what it is a great Sonic game. And it's, since basically 2008 Sonic Unleashed, Sonic has been, on the upswing, definitely on the upswing. And it was it was a great time playing it. Not as good as the console version, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I will, I promise. But it was fun. It was a fun Sonic game. I thought it was better than Colors on the DS. I thought it was better than Rush Adventure. I don't know, it might be about the same as Rush Adventure. It's a good 2D Sonic. It was a little short, but I enjoyed it. I thought the levels were really good. A few of them weren't, but I thought that they were fun to play through. I enjoyed playing through the old levels. It did feel a little lazy how the classic levels, the first three, I think, were just ripped right from their games. But it was very enjoyable to see them put with all the new graphical sheen and whatnot, moving from a 16-bit console with those capabilities to the Nintendo 3DS. Even though the levels were like Green Hill, were exactly the same design-wise, just seeing them on the new system was really amazing. And playing through them again, as a Sonic fan, it's something I just enjoy doing, and I enjoyed the game immensely. Number 11 is Kirby Mass Attack, and it's the last game. Kirby Mass Attack is the last game I played on the Nintendo DS. I played it on the 3DS, but it's the last DS game. You know what I'm saying. And I'm also a huge Kirby fan. And this continues a trend of that Kirby's had recently with Canvas Curse and Epic Yarn and this game, of taking away Kirby's signature ability of sucking up enemies and copying their abilities, and giving him a new gimmick. But the difference between a Kirby game, let's say, that does this, and let's say a Sonic game like Sonic Unleashed, is that the gimmick is treated as a core mechanic of the game. It's not treated like a gimmick. It's treated like something that, and it is something clearly from how the game is designed and how you play through it, that was part of the game from the very beginning. It doesn't at all feel forced in, and you don't feel at all forced to to abide by this gimmick. I just love how you start with one Kirby, and then you get 10 Kirbys, and I mean, Kirby is so adorable, and having 10 of them, I love it. I love 10 Kirbys, and just flinging Kirbys at enemies and watching them, like, just dogpile enemies into submission, because they're little pink balls, and they're, like, going against these really, I mean, still cute, but, like, spiky things or something. And you're just, oh, it's adorable, and it's fun. And, of all the games that I could have played, of all the games that could have been, like, the last DS game, I'm glad that Kirby Mass Attack was the last DS game I played, because it really took advantage of all the system's capabilities, and it was a fun game, and it was a great game to leave on, I thought. Very well designed, a very good platformer, very unique because of the kind of pick-me mechanic. But I had tons of fun with it. Number 10 is a bit of a weird choice, I'll admit, but I truly did have a lot of fun, more fun than I did with any of the games previous to it, and that is the games that came on the 3DS when you first got it, mainly Find Me and, since the recent update, Find Me 2. Two RPGs that come with the 3DS, absolutely free once you get it, so I guess it could cost $250 or $170 now. But out of all I said before that I don't really play games multiplayer. I don't, play games with other people a lot. But with Find Me and Find Me 2, I did, and I enjoyed it. It's just, I think it's genius that they integrated this street pass mechanic into the game, because how it works, you just walk past people, and if they have a 3DS, you get their character, you get their me, and then you can use it in an RPG, and it's a very simple RPG, but I just found it really fun. I found it fun to, when I was with other people with the 3DS, to, like at Nintendo World or something, just pull out my 3DS, have 10, people pop up, and then use them in the game. And yeah, it's a simple game, but I just thought it's fun to meet up with other people and trade that information, to trade the characters like that. And though it's a really shallow mechanic, I just think it's really enjoyable how it forces you to meet new people like that. And so um, I guess that's why it's so far up my list. Number 9 is a game, and I felt kind of bad about putting on here because it is a remake. But it's Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time 3D. Um, and the reason I feel bad because of putting it on there because it's a remake is because it is a game that was made in 1996, I think. Yeah, 96 was when it first came out. And aside from a few graphical touch-ups, the Legend of Zelda on the 3DS is exactly the same. But it's a testament to the original design of Ocarina of Time that the game fares so well even today. It's just, it is in my opinion, the definitive Zelda game. It is like no frills, completely by the formula Zelda, but it still, even though it's kind of as plain as you can be in regards to Zelda, it shows just how great the series and the Zelda formula is. If a game that came out almost 20 years ago um, can still be one of the best games of 2011, um, it's still incredibly fun to play through. I enjoyed playing through it. This would be, I think, my third time playing through the game, and I still enjoy it. It's still one of the best games ever made. It's still completely solid and airtight. The formula still holds up, and it even fares favorably to more recent Zelda games that's come out, like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Um, it's just a testament to how well the game is designed that it still holds up today to such a high degree. Like, I would still recommend it to anybody, and it hasn't aged a bit, and it's great. I love it. Number 8 is a game that I'm sure a lot of people forgot came out this year. I'm sure a lot of people never played this year. It's kind of a sleeper hit in that it wasn't a hit and still sleeping, but I definitely recommend it to anybody who hasn't played it before or even hasn't heard of it, and that is El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron. It is, bar none, the most beautiful game I've ever played. Just the most stunning, eye candy type, like Nirvana-esque game that the design was ethereal, and the art direction was completely unique and amazing, and it all works so well. Like, I never felt when playing that it was just attempting to look really good. It just felt really natural, and the way that the story takes you, the way it introduces you to all these new worlds, is that they're part of a tower designed by 7 angels who wanted to create a new Earth or a new world, because they were so entranced by the original's beauty. Um, it felt like these couldn't be, like, they are totally out of the world. They could not be real places, but they felt like you wanted them to be real places, just the design of the game. Um, and that's definitely the best part of it, is just the art design and traveling through these worlds that the developers created. Um, they're completely unlike anything you will ever see, probably ever again in your life, and it's great that if you play the game, you get a chance to see it and experience them. Um, as for the mechanics, I thought it was a pretty damn good beat 'em up. It was very simple, admittedly. It was like one button to attack, that and the attacks varied depending on how long you held the button down. Um, and there was a little platforming, nothing too spectacular, but just traveling through the world, and the simple fighting mechanics did offer um, a surprising amount of possibility, because with the three different weapons, all were a joy to use. That's another thing I'm really happy with the game about, is that there was no part of the game, no weapon or no part of the combat that was unfun, that you had to feel that I felt while playing, that I just was going through the motions of doing. I enjoyed using every weapon. Yeah, there were some I liked more than others, of course, but I never felt like I was forced to use this one weapon against a boss or anything. And the bosses, oh my god, I forgot to mention, well, like, I'm mentioning now, the bosses um, were, they went on a bit too long, but they deserved them. They were, like, the levels, really well designed, just unique experiences, I thought. Um, and they felt, the whole game, because you, while going through the game, you only fight like one or two, maybe three people at a time. The combat, while very simple, felt very personal, like a dance or something. And I mentioned that in my original review, I think. And it's just so unique, and it doesn't sacrifice working to be unique. It still works. It's still a very solid game, and it makes no sacrifices on that, and still provides something completely you can't get anywhere else. Um, which makes my next choice a bit jarring, I guess, because it's a sequel, Assassin's Creed Revelations. Um, it's actually the most recent game I played, but um, I love the Assassin's Creed series. It's my favorite, probably my favorite new IP of this console generation. It combines exploration, climbing, a good combat system. It's not, I wouldn't say the combat system is better than El Shaddai. I think El Shaddai had a more simple, intuitive, just better flowing combat. But what Assassin's Creed does is recreate a period in time. In Revelation's example, it recreates Constantinople sometime in the 1600s. And it allows you, as Ezio Auditore, and I'm mangling that name, it allows you to just explore this period in time, the city, and literally go anywhere. The city becomes a character that you develop as you play the game, that you free from Templar control and move to the assassin control, and the city visibly changes as you do that. Um, and there isn't much to say about Revelations that hasn't been said about the previous games. And I do feel that the story is getting a bit redundant. Um, and I still enjoyed the game immensely, as evidenced by how high I'm putting it on the list. But it's starting to show its age. The Assassin's Creed formula isn't as good as something like The Legend of Zelda, which Ocarina of Time, as I said, still holds really well to this day. And they've just been coming out every year. Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations. 3 games in 3 years. So, it's getting a bit stale, I guess, but it's still incredibly fun. It's not the best. I still think Brotherhood is better, and I think Assassin's Creed 2 is better, but the Assassin's Creed series is still a very solid game, still very fun to play through. Um, and like, just, you could play Revelation and see what makes it so unique. It's the climbing. It's mostly the climbing. It's the climbing and running across the rooftops of buildings, and just the experience of the height and the motion of doing so. It's unique to the series, I find, and it's great. It's what makes me keep on coming back to the series. Because I love the feeling of leaping from rooftop to rooftop and doing all of that. Um, Moving on to number 6, and it's another sequel. This time in a longer series, but it's Mario Kart 7, and I think I just have to say Wiggler. Wiggler's pretty boss. I love Wiggler. Um, and I could talk about how the new tracks introduced are some of the best in the series. How um, the online gives it, I guess, probably infinite replayability. Just how well the game holds up and how well the series holds up after so many iterations. But no, fuck all that. Wiggler. He's a giant caterpillar. He has 3 pairs of arms. He uses the second one to drive, the third to throw items behind him and mess up enemies and fuck up their day, and the third to, I don't know, maybe just twiddles his thumbs or masturbates or something. I don't know. But Wiggler's a fucking boss, and just him being in the game, I mean, yeah, Waluigi's not there and that sucks, but Wiggler being in, that makes it number 6 on this list because, yeah, Wiggler. Fucking A. But number 5 on this list is Super Mario 3D Land. Super Mario 3D Land, yes. This is the game that you buy a 3DS for. It's a Nintendo first-party game. It's a Mario game. It shows exactly what the 3D can do. And it's a Mario game. And when you say that, I guess everyone gets the idea. Everyone knows how Mario plays, what Mario is. And it's great, and it still lives up. Just the creative level design, it's just Mario is like just unadulterated classic fun, and it's a classic video game experience. It's something you can't do anywhere else but on a Nintendo system, and I love it. And there's not much more to say. I did want to bring up though about Mario Kart 3D Land is I thought that the way they did each level was really, really well done. What they did is that each level is really short, but ultra focused on one thing. Like the longest level might take you is maybe 2-3 minutes, but through that, you're going through an extremely focused, just experience. Like each level is bite-sized, and it's one flavor, but they through that like 3 minute you get everything of that one tone thing. You get every nuance that gimmick in that level is focusing on completely explored, and I just thought it was just the way they do it is genius. How every level is something completely new, and completely realized, and it's great. It's a great Mario game. I recommend it to anyone. I think it's better than Sunshine. I think it's better than 64. Definitely one of my favorite Mario games. And we're getting pretty far up the list. So starting with number 4 is well, not starting, continuing. Number 4 is Sonic Generations for the 360, which is what I played it on. And holy shit! I mean, as a Sonic fan, I've seen the Sonic series falter. Starting with Heroes, continuing through 06. You could say continuing through Unleashed with the whole Werehog business. But Sonic Generations was just amazing for me as a Sonic fan. And I think just as a game, as a platformer, as a game, it was an amazing experience. None of the levels were bad. And it was just so much fun. I enjoyed. I originally played it with Fabian. If you saw my Let's Play of it on my other channel, I originally played it with a best friend of mine, and both of us really enjoyed ourselves playing it. We didn't find anything really wrong with the game. It was fun. It was colorful. It has the best soundtrack. I'm giving Sonic Generations, in my opinion, has the best soundtrack of any game this year. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm a Sonic fan. Deal with it. This is my list. It's my favorite games. If you're not, used to that by now, number 4 out of 17, then wow, you're stupid. But yeah, it has the best soundtrack, I thought. Just the remixes and of all the classic songs worked really well, and even the new songs that were, like from Planet Wisp, they just it reinvigorated something that wasn't even old yet. Which is amazing with the soundtrack, and that's just that. I think the highlight of it is definitely the Death Egg music, the first boss. It's probably the best song I've heard all year. Just the Death Egg Robot, the dun 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 dun. That's why I don't sing, but oh my god, that song is so amazing. So is the rest of the soundtrack with that one song. Oh my god, and just it brought Sonic back to what Sonic should be in the third dimension. Um, I think it Sonic Generations might be my like favorite 3D Sonic. No, no, no. It is my favorite 3D Sonic. It's better than Unleashed, better than Colors, better than Adventure or Adventure 2, definitely better than Heroes in '06. And Shadow. Fuck Shadow. Um, it was just a great game, and it's great as a Sonic fan to play through that and experience what Sonic should have been for the past 10 years, and have it done so well, have it completely chronicle Sonic's development from the first game, from the first level, from Green Hill, all the way to Planet Wisp and Sonic Colors that came out last year. Just getting that whole timeline done with both in the classic Genesis style and the new style that they come up with from Unleashed, and Colors and all that. It was fast, it was fun, and as a Sonic fan, it's kind of what I've always wished for, from a 3D Sonic, and there are no words really. But number three is another game I played with a friend, with Fabian. And that's Kirby's Return to Dreamland. And kind of like Mario Kart 7, I I I could justify the picking it for number three by the level design that never falters, the mechanics, bringing Kirby, unlike Kirby Mass Attack, bringing it back to the basics. You just have the abilities. You suck up enemies. You copy it. You use the sword or the fire, whatever you get. Um, I could mention all that. I could mention how colorful and happy the game is. How the game is actively engaged in making sure you never feel mad at it and that you're always having fun. But I don't have to, because I could just mention Waddle Dee, and how Waddle Dee, who you could play as in co-op, could take one spear and put it in his hand a little and throw it, and three will come out. Or how Waddle Dee can twirl the spear really, really fucking fast, so it works like helicopter propellers and just propels him along the level. And like if Waddle Dee and Wiggler were to get in a fight or something, or if they were to team up in a game, in some sort of racing platformer hybrid game, that'd probably be number one instead of what is my number one, which we'll get to after my number two, which is Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Yep. I mentioned this when I talked about Ocarina of Time, but the Zelda formula doesn't age. And if it does age, it doesn't show it. But Skyward Sword changed it around, and I give it props for that. It took a Zelda formula, and, well, the Zelda formula, of going through dungeons, getting items, using those items to complete the dungeon, fighting a boss, rinse and repeat. And it added some Metroid into it. Instead of visiting just one place once and then traveling through a Hyrule Field to get to another place and doing that and traveling back through Hyrule Field, you keep on revisiting the same places, and using items you got in the dungeons to open up those places and explore them more. Getting thoughts together. And instead of having like dungeons, open world dungeon world, the whole world felt like a big dungeon, and the whole world felt like something you had to explore and complete. And there was always there was never any downtime with the game. Like you felt the whole time that you were traveling through something, that it was always an uphill struggle to save Zelda or to beat Girahim. And it reinvented the Zelda wheel. It took something timeless and made it better. I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, it's not my favorite Zelda game, but it's definitely it's up there. it is definitely up there. It's like my second favorite Zelda game or something. You know, it's and I haven't even mentioned the controls yet for the sword. The sword controls for Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword, just the motion plus. It's the best sword fighting, any type of fighting mechanic in a game that I've ever played. It's so engaging and personal, and uh, it's I don't know exactly how to describe. Just it feels right, I guess. It feels, and it does. It feels nothing like actual sword fighting, I'm sure, but it's fun all the same. It's the closest that we've come so far to, I guess, like a virtual reality type thing. Um, but it's not so so demanding that you actually have to know how to sword fight. It just feels it feels like you're doing all this really amazing stuff. Because you are it just feels so it drags you into the experience, and you become Link actually fighting the enemies, and it it blurs the line between a video game and just a game that you're like playing, I guess, with like a sport or something. And it's the bosses. Some of the bosses are the most fun I've had playing games all year. Um, they were so well designed, the bosses, and because you were playing it with the motion controls, it felt like something, you know, that you were doing. It felt every boss felt like a personal accomplishment as well as an in-game accomplishment. Like you actually fought it with by swinging, you know, and it was I don't know what to say. I mean, it was tough choosing between Skyward Sword and the game that is my number one, which I'll get to. Just because, uh, I mean, it's a Zelda game, and there aren't any bad Zelda games, but this is one of the better ones, definitely. It took a formula, it spruced it up, it changed it a little bit, it made it better, and the controls made it something unique and into a real experience. It transcends a game and becomes experience, and it's just done incredibly well. But we're finally getting to my number one, my game of the year 2011. And I'm sure you guys are smart enough to know what it is by now, just by process of elimination. And it's Batman Arkham City. And Batman Arkham City is probably as close to a perfect game as you'll encounter um, just right now, insofar as gaming has come from like Pong to now. Batman Arkham City is one of the most perfect game experiences I have ever had the pleasure of playing. It's it's uh, I have a hard time describing this game because I do like it so much, and I know that sounds really stupid, but I mean, I also like Batman, so yeah, that's part of it. And what Batman Arkham City does is it takes this figure of Batman, this pop culture icon that's become kind of a myth, both in and out of the world of the comic book, you know, movie, animated, cartoon, whatever world. It takes that character, that essence of Batman, and it allows the player to become that, to be Batman, and to be a person at the peak of human physical and mental perfection. It allows you to embody that in the game, and you you get to be Batman, and it's so fun to be Batman, guys. It's just, and I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, you are Batman. That's how to describe it. It's you being Batman, taking down Joker and Scarecrow and well, not Scarecrow. That might have been a spoiler, but Joker and Two-Face and Penguin and Ra's al Ghul and uh, it was just so more so than the Assassin's Creed even, which is a series that can recreate a huge world. Batman Arkham City takes the Batman mythos. It takes Arkham. It takes all the characters, and it puts them into a fully realized world that you can experience as Batman. And aside from just being Batman, you're going through Arkham City and you're seeing the world of Batman just come alive as you are playing as Batman. It's the controls were excellent. The fighting felt fluid and dynamic and Batman-y, and just going around the city is one of my favorite parts of the game because, like the combat, it flows so well. You can glide pretty much forever and just keep on ziplining to buildings and popping off and gliding and just exploring this fully realized Arkham City, just this fully realized Batman world, and unlike a comic or a movie or the animated series or anything, where you're being taken from place to place, in the Batman world, with Arkham City, you got to explore it however you know, if you're doing the story, yeah, you have to go through the narrative, but otherwise, just explore it as you want. And um, as a comic book fan, as a Batman fan, um, it is complete. It's an experience that I guess doesn't compare to anything else, to any other video game or anything really. It's just an unparalleled experience, I think, playing Batman Arkham City, and it's a great game too. It's completely solid. There's nothing wrong with the game, just from a game perspective too. Um, it was always fun, never frustrating. You got to be Batman, and it's fun being Batman. I mean, it probably isn't, because you're an orphan and your parents are dead and you have all these mental issues. But to do what Batman does and have none of the danger or any of that, just it's amazing. It's thrilling. It's the best game in 2011, and that's the end of my list. Just to recap, from bottom to top: Conduit 2, number 17, Fancy Pants Adventures, Rascals, Missplosion Man, Samurai Warriors Chronicles, Sonic Generations on the 3DS, Kirby Mass Attack, Find Me 2, and other 3DS minigames, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron, Assassin's Creed Revelations, Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart 3D Land, Sonic Generations for the 360, PS3, PC, whatever, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and my game of the year is Batman Arkham City. It was a great year for gaming in 2011. We got the new console with the 3DS. The other consoles are finally being fully realized. We have great motion control on the Wii now with Legend of Zelda. We have Skyrim, which I didn't play through completely, but we have just other games testing the limits of the 360 and modern the next generation consoles right now. And it really is the last year that developers have to do that, to push the limits of the consoles we have now, because starting in 2012, I believe we are going to start the new console generation proper, and it's great. Just what developers have done this year with games, it's unprecedented and it's amazing, and I can't wait to see what we get next year in games. Please stay for my most anticipated games of next year. That's coming up January 1st. And thanks for watching if you did watch through all of this. I know I rambled on It wasn't the most. I wasn't the most articulate in this, but I wanted to get this up by today, by the 31st, by the end of the year, and I wanted to say just what came to mind, what all these game titles, what they inspired me to say, what reading them did, what I wanted to say about them as I read them. Because that's how I feel about the games. If if I had a pre-scripted, I would think about it, and what I want this to be is my favorites, my gut reactions to the games of this year that I've played. So, um, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next year with more and better games. I'm me, and I'm signing off right now. Yeah, bye. Happy New Year. Forgot to say that. Happy New Year. Yeah, do that, please. Have a good one. It will be in gaming at least. And ramble, ramble, ramble. Okay, goodbye.